Hey guys, going to use the same ingredients today for the shave, except we're going to change up the blade. I used the Astra Platinum yesterday, and I didn't quite get the closeness that I wanted, and so we'll see if it's the blade. Who knows? This is because we're using a new razor. I used the Osprey from Blackland for the first time the last shave, and we're repeating that again today. Going to use the same brush, the Semogue Taj handled Semogue Owners Club. It's been soaking for a few minutes. Let's get it back in the water. We are using the same soap as last time, Loyal from Chiseled Face. This is their Silk Tallow base, and it does require a lot more loading time, a lot more product scooped than their normal standard tallow base. That's the reason why I'm trying it with my slurry lather method. And what I'm coming away with as a first impression, the first time I used it, was that the lather almost started to get mature in the tub a little bit because I was having to load for so long. So that's kind of interesting. Nacet blade. This one probably doesn't have too many uses on it. It's definitely not my marathon Nacet that I've been using. So here's the Osprey. Stainless steel version. It does have the brass insert in there. Use a flathead screwdriver to remove it. The base plate here, pretty standard looking top cap with those positioning rails and that kind of thing. I think I'll be able to find the right entry in my database for this Nacet blade. Probably has, 3 to 5 uses or something like that. I haven't marked this one. I haven't put any tick marks on the paper like I usually do. We're going to do today's shave at a 2, which, according to Shane's video about the Osprey, was maybe the mildest setting that your average user might want to go with. It's his suggestion. He said the 1 was really for people who wanted a crazy super mild shave, probably not your average user. So we're going to try the 2 today. I do have just 24 hours growth on, and so it's the perfect time to try that setting, because after all, usually those lower settings are going to give you a smooth, high comfort type of shave. That's my favorite kind. Let's also see if it will be efficient as well. Get my face wet now. Also wanted to show you guys, I took the opportunity to purchase the shaving towel. Blackland logo is embroidered on it. Looks great. It's not a super thick, towel. Like here's those Lancaster. I mean, look at this guy. It's kind of double-sided. It's hollow in there, so you can see it's 2 layers and it's stitched on the ends like that. But this is microfiber. And while this is really great for drying because it just wicks away water and absorbs so much, I actually prefer the pure cotton like this towel is. It's not very thick, and plush. But I haven't washed it. This is just how it came from Shane. And I'm definitely going to enjoy the cotton aspects of this. I'll put it in the wash. Might fluff up a little bit. All right. The blade is in. My face is wet. I did want to mention that when I tried to change the settings upon getting the razor yesterday, I wasn't able to move this one up past 5 or 6. It goes up to 9. And the great thing about Shane and Blackland is that if you're not happy for any reason, then you can return it. But in this case, it could be a manufacturing defect or something. And Shane has already sent me, he said it'll go out today or tomorrow. He has already put in the works to send me a replacement base plate assembly. And I mean, that's just what you get by going with folks like Shane. The customer service they offer. It's kind of like Scott over at Declaration Grooming with his brushes, right? And so that's why you can buy this kind of stuff in complete faith that that your money's not going to be wasted if it ends up to be a product that maybe it works great, but it may be if it's just not your taste, right? If it doesn't shave your particular face well, then or it just doesn't feel right in your hand, then it's a totally subjective thing. You don't have to worry. You can just return it, right? All right, so there we go. We're going to load the soap now. I've already got that new base plate on the way, and that'll be fun to just see if there's a difference and how it adjusts. But I'm able to keep using it because, in a way, I don't need those extra. I'll probably never use those the settings above the 5 or the 6, honestly. But just in case it would affect the shave somehow, he's gonna make it right. We are going to take this nicely saturated brush. I shook it out a couple times yesterday, and I think I wished for more water. So let's not do that today and see what happens. I think I did about 100 swirls in the tub here, and I still needed more soap. We'll keep that in mind too. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It took 140 swirls before things started to overflow. And there are kind of more normal soap bases that you've seen me use, like Sterling and other ones, where this type of overflow with such a saturated brush happens a lot sooner than that, maybe on the order of 30 or 40 swirls. So that's funny. And yeah, there's only a tiny bit of standing water right there. A lot of it's incorporated into the brush. Let's just go right to my face. I'm going to put a few drops of water on my face. We'll see if today is going to be a little different. Oh yeah, it is. I can feel the water. The brush has retained more water than yesterday. And this is more like a real slurry lather shave. This brush, with its capacity to hold so much water, and it's not a dense brush, so there's just that free area for the water to stay. That is a great feature for the slurry lather. Cleaning out the side of the tub there, getting the soap out of the threads. And now, the Nacet, usually a very sharp blade for me, at a setting of 2 with the stainless steel Osprey. I also noted yesterday that the handle gets slippery when soapy during the shave. But fortunately, it doesn't get slippery left or right because of the fluting here. And so it can only slip this way really. And then the knob, it expands a little bit down here at the bottom. And so at least you know it's not going to slip out of your hand even if it does get soapy slippery. So this is a very mild setting. That's really comfortable. I can still feel the blade edge though. I might have to try a shave on 1. I mean, this is very comfortable. You'd have to do something really stupid to make this give you razor burn or cut you. So then the question is, with this kind of setup, is it going to be a close, efficient cut? So we'll see. Is the result going to be a nice, close, baby butt smooth, close to baby butt smooth? That's the test now. We know it's comfortable. All right, a little quick splash of water. try this towel. Now I don't know if sometimes these things need to be washed a few times to kind of get off the factory preservatives, or I don't know what they use. So we won't judge the towel yet. And so we take this guy here. Ba-ba. That's good. I have not had to add any more water or soap. Okay, now this is just gliding effortlessly across my face almost too quickly. When I was holding this razor in my hand, I wondered if perhaps the weight was going to be just a little more than I might like. But there are a few other razors where I wonder that while I'm holding the razor in my hand before the shave, or at my desk when I'm just thinking. But then when I actually get in the shave, there's just no problem at all. And I think this guy is falling into that category. I definitely like having the weight in there, even though I just said I maybe could let it be a little bit more light. That would mean if I took this balancer out, it would be more head heavy, and that's exactly what I don't want. I would actually not mind if this balancer was located a farther toward the end here to move the center of balance of this a little farther away from the head would be my preference. A little splash of water now. Oh yeah, my face feels really good in terms of, splashing that water on revealed the soap that was kind of still on my face and a lot of slickness. So this is definitely showing off this base in terms of its slick performance. Maybe not in terms of its creaminess, but here's the third pass, and that could happen now. With a lot of bases, the third pass causes, it has given that lather a little bit more time to get more mature, and so you can get that creaminess. Doesn't look like that's immediately coming into play now, but hey, this is going to be very shaveable. I have not had to go back in and get more soap. This may be the easiest lather I've put together for this base, to be honest with you. Now, what would happen right now if I added, could I add just a little bit water? A little bit more water? Probably not. I think it would kind of flush things away. I think it's a nice hydrated lather. It's not slurry slick, slurry hydrated, but I think it's just right. You can see some around the edges there. So it's definitely behaving differently than most other bases, but we kind of knew and expected that from the beginning because it behaves differently under kind of the normal bowl lathering effort as well as the normal face lathering effort. And so now we definitely are feeling that glide, that easy, super slick, like you could almost go so fast the razor could come out of your hand is what's going on right now. What I'm going to try is some against the grain strokes, like on my neck here. This is my trouble spot right here. Only a few razors will let me do this move right here. But I have cut my stubble so close, and this is such a well-supported blade that it was possible. Normally that would maybe give me some nasty tugging and biting and sometimes cuts right there. The 40s style vintage Gillette is one where on the fourth pass maybe a really good third pass I can do that with, but very few razors I can. and the Osprey did it. It's a neat razor. It's beautiful. It's attractive. We'll see if the new base plate assembly fixes the tightness of that adjustment ring, and then I think it'll be, I think it'll really have very few flaws, or just going to be subjective ones, All right, get a good rinse now on my face. So that just felt terrific. The rinsing process is always refreshing. I use cool tap water to do it, whatever comes out of the cold tap. And it's often a very fun experience because that splash of water that you're putting on feeds into a little bit of that soap residue that's still on your face from your lather. And so you get this super slick feeling, And so I definitely got that today. I think that amount of soap might be an optimal load. What was it, 140 swirls for this particular brush and a 3-pass shave. I mean, I don't think I want to try to minimize it and have less soap on the brush. So in terms of conservation, I think that was pretty much a perfect load for this base, and it's pretty fast, 16 minutes, and part of that has been me talking, right? So if you're needing to be fast with your shaves, the slurry lather method, with the silk tallow base, you're going to have to load longer than other soaps. However, the slickness I'm getting here is a very luxurious, top-notch kind of slickness that I really enjoy, and I do like the scent on this Loyal a lot with the silk tallow. Yesterday, the diamond balm was what I put after the fact, Barrister and Mann, and it sure did smell great during the rest of the day. So let's just repeat that performance. Manufacturing quality on the Osprey, very high. I could potentially go for the titanium one. Matter of fact, it's lighter, and so who knows? Even though when I'm using this stainless one during the shave, I don't notice the weight. I notice it when I'm holding it in my hand right now, but it's not so heavy that I notice it when I'm shaving, doing the actual act of shaving. The Pearl Flexi is heavier, and I do notice it when I'm shaving. You can feel that momentum. It's a little bit of a workout, right? This one, don't feel it when I'm shaving. But it could be that the titanium version would move into almost a perfect zone for me. Who knows? So I'm thinking about it. Maybe save up my money. I could return this one, upgrade to the titanium, that sort of thing maybe. As long as I returned it within 30 days. But it's got a lifetime guarantee for products and for workmanship, craftsmanship, materials, that sort of thing. So 30-day guarantee, you be satisfied. You have to be happy. You can return it for any reason within 30 days. That's his guarantee. But then the materials and workmanship guarantee is lifetime with Blackland. So there we go. Oh yeah, that diamond just starting to smell good. Liking that. And let's do a little cleanup around here. And there we go. The number 2 setting for the Osprey was great. I might even try the number 1 next time. I did feel the blade just a little bit. It was always under complete control, and it was quite smooth. And it was definitely efficient, as I have reviewed my face here. There may be some parts where I would need to actually go against the grain to get a good shave, but it's possible also that some skin stretching, might fix that, or against the grain in those areas. And it looks like with this razor, I could potentially do that, and that's uncommon for me. I learned that the loyal is just fine with the slurry lather method. Yesterday I had not, as it turns out, loaded enough soap. I needed 40 more swirls. And then I could even load a little bit more if I wanted. You saw how at the end there I didn't have a plethora of soap left over. I didn't have an excess of soap. And notice that I went into that with a very drippy brush, but this particular base kind of needed that, and I didn't really overflow any water. So with this one, you just have to, it's a very simple adjustment with the slurry lather method. You just have to load a little bit longer, and then you can proceed with the slurry method as usual. If I loaded for longer, it's possible that last pass that you saw could have been a little bit more luxurious and creamy looking, a little bit more solid, that sort of thing. So very happy with the shave today. Glad to add a base that I like. It's not very efficient. It costs you more money per shave because your product doesn't go as far, but it's luxurious and great for your skin, and so it's got those perks to it. And so I'm glad to know that the silk tallow base is great with the slurry lather method. And so I guess that's it for today's shave. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you next time. I'm in my window of trying out the Osprey, so you can definitely expect to see the Osprey using more blades. So today was the Nacet. I think the Nacet is a better blade for me in the Osprey than the Astra was, by a little bit, not by a lot, but by a little bit. And of course, that's always subjective per user, per blade. I mean, per razor. That's the most subjective thing in shaving, probably. Thanks so much. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night.